Let's go ahead and take your calls. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, Mr. Jones. I have some questions about the Masons. I just recently found out that three generations underneath me have the 32nd degree. My dad is 77 years old, and I was wondering if there's some questions that I might be able to ask him to pick his brain and just to get some information of it, because a lot of this stuff makes sense. And if you could give a brief overview, not of the history of the Masons, but more of current stuff and anything that might just give me some decent information to go in with, because I just can't believe this. I'm 26 years old. I've never heard of this before. And I recently found all this information, and I asked him about it, and I got some vague answers. And I know my father real well. He's my best friend, so I can tell when he's hiding something and lying, and I can tell by his facial expressions, and something's not right there. And there's no recorded history within our family of this. He has no, it's all been put up and put in attics, and now I'm the one asking a question. I just want to, pick his brain if you could help me out.
Sure. Number one, your father is a porch Mason. They're outside the house. There are 360 degrees of Masonry. Your father doesn't even know about those 360. Your father thinks there's only 33, and then one honorary above that for Supreme Grand Mason. Texas was founded by Masons. Lone Star State, the obelisk down at San Jacinto, George Washington, most of them were Masons. They weren't bad people. The Masonic movement has grown into something different than it was. Mathematics is power. Technology is power and is secret today. A lot of the advanced technology that most of us aren't aware of, that's been hidden by the government, admittedly under national security, the 1947 Act. Well, Masons going back 3,000 years ago were secret universities of mathematics and construction. And if they thought you were a promising young pupil at the local university, whether it was in Egypt or in Greece or in Israel or in Babylon, they would approach you and get you to join, and you'd go to the temple, and it was mathematics. And mathematics and alchemy were interconnected, and they thought it was spiritually connected. So it goes back to pagan gods. And so that tradition ran alongside with the mathematics, and that's why it's a secret construction guild. But around the 1770s, a group of mercenaries funded by the Rothschilds, this is all in the encyclopedia, funded a group called the Illuminati, who were trying to co-opt the crest of the Renaissance in the 1770s. We got these revolutionaries. People don't want to be under kings. We've got to co-opt them to get rid of the kings and the royalty and put ourselves in power. But in truth, it was actually other royal families funding it through the Rothschilds to overturn their cousins and get control in other areas. So it was a corporate consolidation. And so revolutionary groups have always been hijacked and misdirected. I've had many offers myself to, be one of the globalist controllers. I mean, I've had open offers several times, to be brought into the whole thing, and I'm just not going to do it. So that, to answer your question, your father knows it's a cult at the 32nd degree. Your father thinks he knows the secret that Lucifer is really Jesus. Your father, he knows that much, but he doesn't know the rest of it. So that's basically it. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex. Let me turn this down a bit. You're probably aware of this, but about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was watching local Fox 7 News, and they had a report that the FDA had approved the V-chip, and what they claim was that it's so everyone can contain their personal medical records, solely their medical records, to make them readily available when they check into a hospital or just just for the convenience. I mean, that's insanity to me. Just to make your medical records. I mean, that's most likely a lie. I was wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Well, it's a great question. We actually have the specific answers. I've interviewed the chief scientist of Applied Digital Solutions 5 years ago. I've interviewed the CEO of the company 3 years ago. I have interviewed their European distributor 7 months ago. I knew they were going to forcibly implant Mexican judicial workers 7 months ago, 4 months before it was in the news. And that transcript and the audio is on my website, and an article we wrote about it. Because these guys brag. I get the European distributor on, and he goes, "The chip will prevail, Alex, nothing you can do." That's a quote. we've got the chipmobiles. The kids love it, Alex. This is an American in Europe. And he goes, Alex, the cops are all going to have to take it. You'll have to have it to buy and sell. It's the plan. We're working with the U.S. government and the European Union. And so I go on air. They're going to start making cops take it. Then the Miami Herald. There's talks in Miami of asking police, maybe making them take it. Mexico, they're making them. Italy's about to make them. So, yeah, when you hear the big push in the news, it's for your medical records. It could save your life. My cousin 2 years ago, now a year and a half ago, came to my house for coffee. He's always been overseas, special forces, and then in basic Army activities, just supply. Now that he's older, and he came to the house, he said, I didn't believe you a few years ago when you said we'd all be getting chips because we all got called in, about 100 of us, and the officer said, you're all going to be getting chips in the next couple of years. And now we're hearing Special Forces has gotten the chip. Now you want to be in the military, you got to have the chip. So it's just all part of this process. And so that's it. I mean, we've gone from, here's a federal document 5 years ago. They're going to push it as a fad and for security. Pentagon says that all of us will have chips by 2020. Here's the document, Pentagon URL. Please check it. And, email, you kook, I'm not going to check it. It's made up. 2, it's on the news, and the yuppies go, I might just have to take it then. I'm part of the system. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, have you seen this new commercial put out by the Air Force where they show a squad car in this urban setting looking down an alley, not sure what they're doing, and it appears that their computer is having problems, and some kid off the street comes in and helps them with the computer. And
I haven't seen the ad, but it goes, do you have skills with computers and hacking? And it shows the kid progress from a child up to an adult when he's in a command center fighting Al-Qaeda?
Not quite. At this point, he presses a button, helps the police officer with his computer, and the next scene, it shows a plane, a jet flying overhead, over above them, with the guy in the plane receiving the information from the cop.
So it shows him progressing.
Yeah, so what is...
And the reason I knew that is they show a kid with a toy airplane, then with an electronic one, and then piloting attack drones. That's kind of the progression there.
But, this is clearly a violation of Posse Comitatus, of the military actually coordinating with police officers.
Hey, bro, they've already gotten rid of it. It's happening everywhere, and you're right. Bush's inauguration is going to be troops all around him saying, this is my power. I am Caesar. I have crossed the Rubicon. I have a mandate. You will submit to me. And, everybody 20 years ago knew when a prime minister or foreign leader is always seen with troops around him, you're dealing with a dictator.
No, I believe that. I just was, under the impression that that has not been repealed, and at least nominally it's still in existence.
In 1986, the 1878 Posse Comitatus law had holes put in it you could drive a 747 through. I've interviewed the JAG officers.
Well, that's depressing. I'll see you later then.
Well, let me ask you a question, and I agree with you. Why is it bad to have the military involved in our lives?
Well, obviously, it's not...
Obviously, Guatemala and China and Nazi Germany do that. Military fights an enemy, kills people and breaks things. They first militarize our police. Now they're killing us with rubber bullets and tasers every day. And then now they're going to merge the two. Yes. Well said. You're absolutely right. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, I was just interested in getting a taped copy of this show, of this exact one, November 9th.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this in. Maybe we'll call the name of the show November 9th. And you can call Access TV at 478-8600, extension 15, and request to see more of these shows. But that's basically how you get to see it again. Hello, caller. Last caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello, Alex. Answering that gentleman with the biometrics question, facial recognition is already going into play. By the way, my name's Diogi. I'll send you a few emails. The embedded networks is basically what it's called. They actually utilize that, and utilize it in Afghanistan, where they drop micro, nodes where they can see all kinds of movement. My question, though, is kind of like a two-part thing.